It always starts small. A simple phrase, spoken almost without thought.
I'm fine.
You say it when someone at work asks how you are. You say it when a friend notices something heavy in your eyes. You even whisper it to yourself in the mirror before you walk out the door. I'm fine. It slips off the tongue like a reflex, like a shield. And in that moment, everyone accepts it. The conversation moves on. The world continues turning. But inside, deep beneath that casual dismissal, something tightens, something fractures, something waits. Because you know you're not fine. You know that behind the smile, behind the easy words, there is a storm that never seems to pass. And yet, you hide it. You hide it so well that even you start to believe it. That is the dangerous comfort of pretending everything is fine. The human mind is clever, maybe too clever. It has ways of protecting us from truths we fear we can't handle. We learn to bury, to mask, to compartmentalize. We learn to smile when we are drowning, to laugh when our chest feels hollow, to say it's nothing when it is in fact everything. Psychologists call it denial, repression, avoidance. Philosophers call it self-deception, and we in our everyday lives just call it survival. But survival has a cost, because when you silence your pain long enough, it doesn't disappear, it waits. And when it comes back louder, sharper, more destructive than before. Pretending everything is fine is like holding your breath underwater. At first, it feels manageable. You can push through. You convince yourself you're strong enough to endure it. But time is merciless. Eventually, your lungs scream for air. The pressure builds until you can't stand it anymore. And in that final desperate gasp, everything you've tried to suppress comes rushing in all at once. That is the hidden cost, the collapse that follows the silence. But why do we keep doing it? Why do we cling to the comfort of that little phrase, I'm fine? Because admitting we're not fine is terrifying. From childhood, we're taught to keep our emotions in check. Don't cry. Don't complain. Don't make others uncomfortable. We hear phrases like, be strong. Get over it. Others have it worse. Slowly, we internalize the message. Weakness is dangerous. Vulnerability is shameful. Truth, inconvenient. And so we adapt. We put on the mask. We rehearse the smile. We learn that I'm fine is safer than I'm hurting. Safer, but not truer. The tragedy is that the world often rewards the mask. When you pretend to be fine, people praise your strength. They admire your composure. They call you resilient, responsible, mature. But what they are really admiring is your performance. They don't see the toll it takes. They don't see the sleepless nights, the hollow mornings, the tightness in your chest that never goes away. They see the mask and mistake it for your face. And in time, you make the same mistake. You start to forget where the mask ends and you begin. That is how people lose themselves, not in dramatic explosions, but in quiet, daily betrayals of their own truth. And here is the cruelest part. When you say, I'm fine, long enough, you start to believe you don't deserve help. You convince yourself your pain isn't valid, that it's too small to matter, that others have suffered more. You gaslight yourself into silence, and the silence grows heavier every day. The prison of pretending is built brick by brick, each "I'm fine" another stone in the wall, until one day you realize you've locked yourself inside and no one even knows you're there. But of course, the body remembers. The nervous system doesn't lie. When you deny pain, it finds other ways to speak. Insomnia, anxiety, depression, the sudden wave of panic in the grocery store, the numbness that creeps in during moments that should be joyful, the ache in your chest when nothing is wrong, yet everything feels unbearable. These are the whispers of truth beneath the mask. They are the price of pretending. So, what's the alternative? What happens if one day, when someone asks, you tell the truth? What happens if you say, "No, I'm not fine"? At first, it feels like falling, like tearing open a wound you've kept stitched for years. It feels raw, unsafe, terrifying. But slowly, something shifts. Because the moment you speak the truth, you stop carrying it alone. You open the possibility of being seen, and being seen is the first step toward healing. Of course, not everyone will know how to respond. Some people will pull away, some will minimize. That hurts, but it doesn't invalidate your truth, because your truth doesn't need everyone's approval. It only needs your own recognition. And the moment you stop betraying yourself with the lie of "I'm fine," you begin to remember who you are. You remember that your needs matter, that your feelings are valid, that being human means being allowed to break. This is not weakness. This is courage. To face the parts of yourself you've hidden away, to sit with the grief you've buried, to admit the longing you've silenced. It takes strength to speak the words you've avoided for so long. I am not fine. It takes even more strength to sit in that admission without rushing to fix it, without smothering it in forced positivity. Because healing doesn't start with solutions. It starts with honesty. And honesty is contagious. When you admit you're not fine, you give others permission to do the same. You break the cycle of false strength, of silent suffering. You remind people that none of us are as composed as we appear, that behind every smile there are battles invisible to the eye. And sometimes your courage to tell the truth becomes the light that helps someone else step out of their own darkness. So let me ask you, how many times have you said, "I'm fine," when inside everything was screaming the opposite? How many times have you chosen the comfort of the mask over the risk of the truth? And how much has that cost you? Not in money, not in status, but in sleepless nights, in broken relationships, in the quiet erosion of your own soul. How much longer are you willing to pay that price? There is another way. It's harder, yes, but it's real. It begins with pausing the next time the words "I'm fine" are about to escape your lips. It begins with asking yourself, is this the truth, or is this the comfortable lie I've been living? If it's the lie, dare to stop. Dare to say nothing. Dare to say, "No, I'm not fine." Even if it's only in the privacy of your own heart. Even if no one else hears it. Because the moment you stop lying to yourself, you begin the journey back to wholeness. And maybe that's the greatest act of rebellion in a world addicted to appearances. To choose truth over performance, authenticity over illusion. To say, "I'm not fine, but I'm here. I'm not fine, but I'm honest. I'm not fine, but I'm alive." And in that honesty, there is space for something new to grow, for connection, for healing, for the kind of peace that pretending never gave you. So if you are listening to this and you feel the weight of the mask pressing against your skin, let this be your reminder. You don't have to carry it forever. You don't have to keep pretending. You deserve to be real. You deserve to be seen. And now I want to hear from you. How many times have you used those words as a shield? How has the mask shaped your life? Share your story in the comments. And if this message spoke to you, if it echoed something you've been afraid to admit, then subscribe, leave a like, and share this with someone who might need it. Maybe they're saying, "I'm fine" right now. Maybe they've been saying it for years. And maybe this is the reminder they need, the truth they've been waiting to hear. It's okay to not be fine. You deserve more than the dangerous comfort of "I'm fine."